You're watching the Sports Central Podcast.
Sitting here with the man, the myth, the legend, Stan Verrett.
Wow.
I know, and a friend, I can say. Fortunate to say.
Likewise.
Yeah. Stan, I was excited to have a chance to speak to you on the podcast because you just have had such a legendary career. You've touched a lot of things over the course of your career, and I know you have stories for days.
Yeah.
Do you ever get tired of telling them?
No, not really. I mean, that at the core of what we do is storytelling.
Yes.
So it kind of bleeds over into my own personal recollections of things I've seen and been fortunate enough to be able to cover over the course of my career. So it's fantastic. I mean, I've never worked a day in my life.
That's what they
always
say.
gotten a chance to watch sports and chronicle the incredible achievements of great players and teams.
You're synonymous with SportsCenter and being a SportsCenter anchor for so many years. I do want to get into that, but how did you get started? You were at Howard. Did you know when you were in college that this is what you wanted to do?
Yeah, when I was in high school, my dream was to play in the NFL, play for 10 years, win a few Super Bowls, then become a sportscaster when I retired.
Lofty goals, I would say, but
Okay. But then I got on the field when I was in high school at St. Augustine in New Orleans. Great football school, and I realized the NFL thing's probably not going to happen. So let's just fast forward to the
What position
sportscasting
did you
career.
play?
I was a receiver, and a part of the problem was the coach kept trying to move me to tight end.
Oh.
And I wasn't big on blocking. I like running routes. Wasn't fast enough running those routes, though, so the coach was like, well, we'll move you to tight end, and maybe you can get on the field there. But no, that sled wasn't my thing.
So you knew you were passionate about football, about sports, and you wanted to just kind of parlay that passion into a career?
Yeah, I had really good verbal skills through testing. My mom is an educator, lifelong educator, and she said, hey, what about sports journalism? I'm like, Mom, I was going to get to that after football. And so she's like, she says things that only a mother can say to you, like, son, I don't know much about football, but I think if you were better, you'd probably play more. Anybody else you're ready to fight, but your mom can say that to you.
That's real talk.
Okay, Mom, I got it. So we fast forwarded to the journalism career. Then when I got to Howard, we had a student-produced newscast there that I got to do my senior year with Michelle Miller, who was on CBS News, and we co-anchored that. I worked at the Washington Post while I was in school. Also worked in radio. Took a radio job in Charleston, South Carolina when I graduated. And then moved to Norfolk, Virginia, worked in radio and TV there, and that's where my TV career got started.
Did you, when you were doing the show on campus at Howard, were people like, oh, he's pretty good? Did people see something in you at that early age, in those early stages?
Our professors did. We were lucky. We had one professor who was actually a producer at NBC News. And we had another professor, Lee Thornton, who was the first black female White House correspondent.
Wow.
And they taught us journalism, so we got a real hands-on feel for what the business was actually like from people who did it. Mm-hmm. It wasn't just theory, it was, here's the practical way to build a career doing this. And, we had a lot of people there who have done really, really well. I mean, Michelle, Gus Johnson from Fox, Frederica Whitfield from CNN, Stephanie Elam from CNN. So we've had Steve Weiss from NFL Network. I hate doing this because I always forget people because there were so many people who did really well. But it was a credit to the professors in the program at Howard.
Did you, being around that, obviously you mentioned some entities that are hard news. Did you ever think about doing hard news?
It's funny, my delivery has always been somewhat serious, even doing sports. And so over and over and over again, I got approached about doing news. But, I wasn't in it necessarily for the television part of it. I was in it for the sports part of it. And so the only time I really, really considered it, when I was in Norfolk, they wanted me to do the morning show, the Monday through Friday morning show. But they asked me to do it right before football season started. And I'm like, oh, man, football's getting ready to start. No, I don't want. If they'd asked me maybe in the summertime, early summertime, maybe I might have transitioned into news. But there's nothing like, and there's nothing like the excitement of a big game, of watching just incredible things like that you've never seen before.
Yeah. So you skipped the morning show.
Skip the morning show.
I think you played your cards right, Stan. Everything worked out for you.
It worked out. It worked out. I think it was the right choice for me.
Yeah. So ESPN, obviously Bristol, Connecticut based.
Mm-hmm.
They opened the West Coast studio in 2009.
Yeah.
And are you like, sign me up? What are you thinking?
Well, long before it opened, I got together with Neil Everett and I said, hey man, look, Neil's family is all west of the Mississippi. They're all in Washington State, here in California. He spent a lot of time in Hawaii, so he wanted to get west. And I knew that. And so, I always liked Neil, and we worked together sometimes in Bristol. And so we got together and we said, hey, let's form a team now and just kind of keep working it. And so we did. And, we came out here and it was, just fantastic because the challenge for me, some people like Connecticut. I didn't. I'm from New Orleans originally, so I don't like cold weather. It's kind of boring there, and New Orleans, you're never bored. And so it was kind of, I like big cities. Mm-hmm. I like restaurants and culture and all that sort of stuff. And so this was just a natural fit for me when it came up. I was like, my only worry was, what do I do if I don't get it? If everybody's in Bristol, okay, everybody's in Bristol. But if there's some people in LA and some people in Bristol, what do I do if I don't get it? But I never had to worry about that.
How did you celebrate the news when you learned you got it?
It was an ongoing celebration. I mean, there wasn't just one celebration. It was an ongoing celebration. Just being here, every day I would wake up and I'm like, wow, I get to live in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I have my dream job, but in a location that wasn't optimal for me. So it is when you're coming up in the business, you work in small markets and you think, okay, as I move up, my life's gonna get better. The job's gonna get better, my life's gonna get better. I'll be in a bigger city, I'll be making more money, and so all of that was true, except I wasn't in the bigger city. And so it was kind of, there's some cognitive dissonance going on because you're like, the job is everything I've ever wanted it to be. It's just not in a place where I wanted it to be. And then when it was like, okay, the job, and then it's here, you can't beat it.
I love that you and Neil were kind of scheming to make this happen.
Oh, yeah.
And that it worked out for you because watching the two of you on the desk, it was special. You guys were a great tandem for a long time.
Yeah.
How did you? And I know you guys still have the Stan and Neil podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You still find a way to work together. You can't quit each other just yet.
Exactly.
But how did you, how did that chemistry build? I think that's such a thing that's lacking. When you watch TV these days, it's when you find chemistry amongst the anchors, it really makes the product so much more enjoyable.
So we had done a few shows together in Bristol. I worked primarily with John Butchergross when I was there. He worked primarily with Scott Van Pelt. And so sometimes when one or the other guy was off, we would wind up doing a show together. One night we did a show, and Chris Berman called both of us and left a voicemail. And we both have just tremendous respect for Chris Berman. I mean, he built the place, And he left us a voicemail, and he said, I watched you guys' show tonight from start to finish, and I can't tell you the last time I did it. And he said, what I really liked about it is it took me back to when we started this thing. It was two guys on the desk talking about sports and having fun doing it. So, I get back to my desk and I see the voicemail light and I listen to it, and so I go run over there. I was like, Neil, you get a voicemail from Chris Berman? He's like, yeah. He's like, dude, I'm never ever deleting that. I'm gonna keep that forever, So that was just kind of a random one-off show. So then we got together here and we said, we need to get to know each other. So we went down to Roy's.
Oh, yeah.
It's Fogo de Chao now, but it used to be Roy's.
Hawaiian food.
place.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
So Neil worked in Honolulu for years, okay? So we go to Roy's, just kind of a, get to know each other better dinner. We're going to be working together. So we talked about just our approach to doing the job, and it was that it's not two individual guys doing a show. They just happen to be sitting at the same desk. No, it's two people working together to make it a show as a team. Okay, don't worry about what's best for me. Worry about what's best for the show. We both had that philosophy, and then there just wasn't any ego involved. It was, hey, this is our thing. It's not my thing, it's not your, it's our thing. And to the extent that we both invest in it, it'll be better for both of us. And so when I tell you, like, there was never any real issues. I mean, we just work together really well. I think it's because we approach the work the same way. So anyway, so we go to Roy's, and Neil says,
Like
hey.
a couple Mai Tais involved? What are we
No, not Mai Tais. There's a Hawaiian beer called Longboard Lager.
I know it well.
Okay, so Neil says, you ever had Longboard? I said, no, let's have some. So when we're drinking, we're telling stories, we're kind of talking about our careers, hopes and dreams and families and just everything. 4 hours later, the bartender says, guys, we're out of Longboard. You guys are going to have to switch to something else.
You cleaned him out of Longboard.
Cleaned them out of Longboard. And I always say the show was boring that night because we walked out of there and went, hey, man, this is going to be great. This is going to be great. You know? But he's a tremendous guy. There's not a selfish bone in his body. All about making it work as a team. And, you know, we come at it from two totally different backgrounds, but we just meet right here. And it's just, it was just one of those things. I was really fortunate to get a partner like that, because sometimes when you wind up on a partner show, you don't know the other person until you get to know them. And when I got to know him, there was just nothing but things to like.
I love that. And you can see it when you watch the show that you guys truly enjoyed working together. You made the viewer feel like they were just hanging out with you at Roy's, having a longboard lager and talking about sports. That's the feeling that you gave people watching the two of you on the anchor desk, which is what you want, right?
That's what we were going for.
Yeah.
That's what we're going for. Hey, look, we both really enjoy sports, and we enjoy bringing it to you.
Yeah.
And so that was always our approach, and you know, it worked.
And no ego is also important. You know, everyone's kind of
you know how this business is. Everybody, you know, we just never really looked at it that way.
Yeah.
We just kind of looked at it as like, hey, we're fortunate to be in these positions and to be able to share context and meaning and whatever else happened to come out in a game or a situation. You know, find what's interesting about it and present it to people in a way that they can enjoy it. You know, it's a very simple philosophy, but the key is just doing it over and over again every night.
Right. And then when you don't, I mean, listen, you can approach something with no ego and not being selfish, and you still have one heck of a ride. I mean, looking at some of the highlights of your career, what jumps out to you? What were some of the moments that you, Stan Verrett, had to say, I can't believe I'm doing this right now?
So in 2016, I'm in New Orleans. I go to a Saints game, and ESPN has a site that covers sports, race, and culture. It used to be called Undefeated.
Yes.
And now it's called Anscape. Okay. So the editor of Anscape calls me, and you know, Saints had won a game, and I'm in New Orleans hanging with my buddies. So the next morning, I wasn't exactly clear-eyed. So he calls me, says, "Hey, listen, we're doing this forum on race, culture, and sports at North Carolina A&T with the president, and we'd like for you to host it." And I said, "Okay, fine, I'll do it. Let me call you back later, and I'll get more details on it." Okay. So you know, I get up, go to the airport. I'm coming back here, and I call him back, and I said, "Hey, so just so I can start getting ready, who's the president of North Carolina A&T right now?" He said, No. It's not with the president of North Carolina A&T. It's with President Obama. Whoa. And I'm like, oh my, this is a whole different thing. And so now I'm like, yeah, I'm really excited about doing this. Let's do it. So it was in Greensboro, where North Carolina A&T is, and my only worry about it was, how is the vibe going to be between me and him? Because it's an hour-long show. And so, like, you know, how's it going to be? So I get there, and right before we get ready to do the show, Secret Service comes up to me and says, "Hey, would you like to come and talk to the president for a few minutes, just kind of loosen up before we get started with the show?"
Yes, I would.
said, yes, I would. So I go walk backstage. He's like, "Stan, what's up, man?" You know, and he dashed me like And instantly in that moment, I knew this is going to be great.
Who needs Neil?
This is gonna be great.
Neil Everett. Get Obama in there.
And so it was like, how many people who cover the White House every day
Don't get
a
that
chance
opportunity.
to sit down with the president for an hour?
Yeah.
And so it was,
Gosh, how nervous were you
that won't be tough.
leading
You know
into
what?
that, though?
I wasn't. I was nervous until I actually met him, and he was just like the most approachable, just normal person ever. And I was like, okay, good. This is going to be great. And then we just had a great conversation, and they had a studio audience, and we took questions, and it was fantastic. So I mean that will never be topped. I was here right there at crypto.com for Kobe's final game, and
That was a special one.
That fourth quarter, I'll never forget that fourth quarter. I mean, I'm getting chills thinking about it. Like a player and a fan base just willing the ball into the basket, and just over and over. I mean, it was like he couldn't miss every time it went up, and it was just to see his final game here and to really get a grasp of what he meant to this franchise. I mean, I think he is as important a player to a franchise as any player's ever been to the franchise. And then, when he died, I'll never forget that day either. And just the spontaneous reaction of people coming here and bringing memorabilia that meant a lot to them because it was connected to him, and putting it there in his honor and just saying, I want to give this back.
Yeah.
To express my love and adoration for this player who added so much to my life, I came at this as a fan first, and so I always get that. I mean, I'm still a fan, and so I get that, and so that was a really moving thing too, to see that and to understand what he meant to the city. You drive around and you see all the murals with him and Gigi. I mean, it was just, it's another moment I'll never forget. And then our first 2 years here, 2009 and 2010, the Lakers won the championship.
Well, I mean, literally, what timing, right?
Yeah.
And this was your office,
Yeah,
essentially, LA Live.
Me and Neil would do the show out here in the plaza with Jalen Rose, and, the fans were all, I don't even know if we could do that today.
Right.
Because of security concerns,
Yeah.
but, anybody could have just walked up. I mean, we had some security, but it was, it was, hey, we're here, and, the finals are here, and so let's do the show outside among the people. And it was great shows and a lot of fun, so this has been fantastic. It really has.
You have this magical thing with Neil here. You're working here at LA Live. You're at the hub of so much activity in the sports, LA scene. And like all good things, it comes to an end,
Yes.
right? You could have gone back to Bristol, but was it the golf weather year round that kept you in Los Angeles?
I mean, you know how it is. Coming up in the business, you make decisions based on your career. You have to, because it's so competitive. And, when opportunities present themselves, you can't really worry that much about geography. You just go and you take the opportunity. Well, this was a time where I said, you know what, this one's about my life. It's not just about my career.
Good for you, Stan.
Yeah, luckily living in LA, it's like I can figure the career stuff out because there's so much happening, so many opportunities that present themselves, but I can't replicate this, and it's a beautiful 75-degree day here, and, that's Tuesday in LA. You know what I mean? We get 1 million of these every year. And so you can't, there were times when I was in Connecticut where I felt like I was being robbed of my life. Just day after day of snow and cold, and like you don't want to do things and everything, and you do it. You make the sacrifice because it's what's good for your career, because you have to build up. Well, this time I was like, no, it's not about that this time. It's about my life this time. And I'll figure out. I mean, I still have things to say. I still want to be a voice in sports media, and so this is a great place to be to do it as a freelancer, voice for hire, whatever you want to call it, but I get to live here. And that was the most important thing. My wife loves it here. She used to work in television here. And so, we've built a life here, and that wasn't subject to change.
You have currently you do the Saints preseason, which is like a dream for you, growing up in New Orleans.
They called immediately. They said, hey, you're leaving this, but you got to do something with us.
Yeah.
And so I had talked to their digital media director. I'm sorry, their social media director. We're pretty good friends from over the years. And I told him, I said, I'm going to start some kind of Saints podcast just because I talk about them all the time anyway with my buddies. I might as well just do it now as a pet project. And so then the team reached out and said, no, do it with us. So that was, it's been a dream come true. I'm going to be with them again this season in some capacity. We're still working on like the plan for this year. And then the Clippers, you and I got to work with the Clippers this past season. That was fantastic. Being able to be with a team over the course of a whole season. It was the first time you did that in your career. First time I did. In local TV, you cover teams for a full season, but you're not right there in it with them every day. And that part of it was just, it was so much fun, and I got to exercise new muscles, which is fantastic at this point in my career, having something new and exciting to learn and to do. And it's that part of it's been a blast too. And again, it's because I'm in Los Angeles.
Somewhat of an off season right now, right, for you. I know
I've been doing some NBA TV.
Okay.
Because they're based out here too.
Okay.
So, it's like there's so many opportunities here. So I've been filling in here and there on NBA TV. That's been fun as well. And
but how much golf are you getting in?
Well, I had a show on FanDuel Sports Network before that went away from the whole basketball season, and I was working days. And so it was like I could sneak 9 holes in between the production meeting and the show, but that was about it. And so my game kind of suffered. So some of my buddies who I used to beat, all of a sudden felt like they had a chance now.
Hey, Stan, come on out. Let's put a little wager on this one.
And so now, I'm back to, hey, I want to work at night, so I have my days free. So I'm playing a lot more now, and, the handicap's going to come down now.
Okay. All right. You're heading out to a golf tournament, I think, tomorrow.
Yeah. In South Carolina.
It's like this organically grew into this massive tournament over the years.
56 guys started out. It was just like, 4 guys said, hey, let's go down to Myrtle Beach and play some golf. And then they invited a few more guys, and then it went up to 12. And then, back then it was just kind of, okay, just some guys going out. It's a golf trip. And then it just started expanding and expanding and expanding, and now it's 56 guys. And so, we put together a little pot to make it fun. And so, it's a good time.
Who organizes this?
One of my buddies in D.C. He says like herding cats, getting everybody to put their deposits down for the trip and, the whole thing. But it's a great group of guys, and watching it grow has been fun. And then reconnecting with the guys who've been doing it for 15 or 20 years, it's great to see them every year.
Do you have to approve when new members join?
Oh, there's a wait list now. There's a wait list. So like everybody who comes this year, they're penciled in for next year if they can make it. But if 4 guys can't make it, then we bring in guys from the wait list who can make it. But it's
so great.
You got to do it in groups of 4 because of the tee times.
Right.
So you can't do 53. You got to have 56. So we do it in multiples of 4. So.
That's great. How many years has this been going?
I've been a part of it since 2010 when I first moved here.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal. So as an avid golfer, where is your favorite course?
Pebble Beach.
Pebble Beach.
Just, the feeling of just zen that comes over you when you're there as a golfer, it's just, like you feel
even if you're having a bad day, bad round?
There's no bad days at Pebble Beach.
Oh my gosh. Really?
Like the golf, like every time I go, I want to play well because I want to remember a great round at Pebble Beach, but it almost becomes secondary, which is hard for me to say because anytime I got a club in my hand, I'm trying to do my best, but there it's like you realize how special it is just to be there. Somebody once described it to me as the golf course looks like it's just always been there. That like they didn't build a golf course there. The golf course has just always been there. It's like a part of the environment there. And I don't surf, I don't swim, I don't water ski, I don't do anything out by the water. But there's something magical about being near the ocean there. And then the golf part of it too. Like there's so much history. Tom Watson's chip in at Pebble Beach, and then just watching the pros play there. It's a really special place, and I just love it every time I go.
What's your dream foursome?
Ooh, My dream foursome. Tiger Woods, President Obama, Jason Day.
Okay.
Yeah. Jason Day and Tiger have always been my favorite players. I've run into the president, former president, at golf courses, a couple of different places, because he's an avid player as well. And you know,
You're playing at the good spots.
Yeah, we've always talked about getting out and playing, but I haven't. We've been on the course at the same time, one place, and so I actually did get to see him play a couple of holes, but we haven't been in the same foursome.
What happens?
But it's going to happen.
I believe that it will happen, and I hope that it happens for you. What happens when President Obama is on a golf course? Or is everyone just stopping and watching?
The Secret Service tries not to make it that way.
Yeah.
But obviously, you know, there's security concerns because you're in a wide open field,
Sure.
and so there are a lot of precautions that have to be taken. But he's serious about playing, and so they make it happen for him.
You've played in a lot of charity events with athletes, retired athletes. Who has no business being out there?
Has no business being on a golf course?
Yeah.
Ooh, who can I flame right
These
now?
athletes
Let's
have healthy
see.
egos, you know?
You know, look, everybody's bad at golf when they start.
Okay.
And sometimes, so hockey players and baseball pitchers, hide your wallet if you're playing with a hockey player or a baseball pitcher, because obviously hockey, it's a side-on with a stick, and you're knocking an object in a particular direction and trying to control where it goes. That's a easy connection to golf. Baseball pitchers, because of the hip movement and the wind-up, you know, they naturally take to golf as well. And so, like Chan-Ho Park, he used to pitch for the Dodgers here. He hits the ball so far, it's unbelievable.
Wow.
I played with him a couple of times. It's unbelievable how, I think he might have been able to make it in golf as a professional, the way he plays. So I don't want to be negative. I don't want to throw anybody out there, okay? But I will tell you, some of the guys who, like Steph Curry, is unbelievably talented at golf.
Yeah.
I think he might try to make a run at the Champions Tour, which for almost anybody else is a crazy idea, because the people you're going to be playing against are people who are on the PGA Tour right now.
Right.
Okay, and then when you turn 50, they're just going to be a little bit older, but they will have played golf their whole life. But he's really good, and he's tall, he's got long arms, and he can control it. So he's got a wide arc, and he can control it. So Steph's a really, really good player. Like I said, Chan-Ho Park is an unbelievable player. So yeah, I'll just talk about the players I'll play with who are really good.
Okay.
Rather than really bad.
Okay. You mentioned Pebble Beach as your favorite course, most special. What about LA area?
There's so much good golf here.
Yeah.
I play at Bel Air. I love Riviera as well. Lakeside's great. And there's some good municipal courses too. Los Verdes down in Palos Verdes. Right there out on the ocean. Always enjoy playing there. And there's a hidden gem, this course called Goose Creek. I don't even know what city. I just put it in the GPS and just follow where it takes me. I don't even know really where it is, but it's a fantastic course. But it's kind of like out in somewhere off one of the freeways. I don't even remember.
Maybe that's why it's a hidden gem. It's just somewhere out there.
But like a lot of the pros who live here,
they know about it.
Aspiring pros play there. I think they've had a U.S. Open qualifier there, but it's a fantastic course. So, every course has its own charm, its own challenge, things that make them special, and so it's just kind of, you go there and you experience whatever makes that particular course special. But I like playing the courses that you see on TV, on the PGA Tour, LPGA Tour, because you think, oh yeah, I remember when so and so hit that shot from here, and they make it look so good on TV. Like I went to Dubai in 2016. I had a bunch of time off and hadn't used much of it, and so they said, hey, look, you got vacation stacking up, you got to take it. So I said, you know what? I've never been to Dubai, always heard about it, and
You went before it was like the hot spot to go.
Exactly. I'm up late at night and I'm watching the Dubai Desert Classic, on the European Tour, DP World Tour, and I said, man, I want to see that course. That course is fantastic. And so I went to Dubai ostensibly to play golf at that course, and it was fantastic, you know. And I played with 3 other players from China who spoke no English, and they just lumped me in with them. I was a single, and they just lumped me in with them, and we had the greatest time because, as Gary Player said, golf is a friend-making machine, you know. And so here I am with, you know, 3 guys from a totally different part of the world.
They don't speak any English?
They don't speak any English, and we're in a part of the world that none of us are from, but we're just all really happy to be there because we're playing this fantastic golf course. And so that's kind of what golf has always been. Like, there's no bad days on a golf course.
And Stan, you have really nothing left on your career bucket list that you would need to check off.
No, there's still
correspondent for the Golf Channel or something.
I mean, you know, there's that. Yeah, if they call, of course. But no, there's still things that I want to do. Like, I can't reel off what those things are, but like if somebody called me and said, "Hey, would you be interested in doing this?" then I'm in a good place now where I get to pick and choose.
Yeah.
And so football, the NBA, so NFL, NBA, and golf are my 3 passions, like the things that I really, really love, that I'm going to be watching them no matter what. I'm going to be formulating opinions and thoughts about them no matter what. And so I might as well share them, you know, because that's what I do. It's what I've always done.
I appreciate you sharing your time today, Stan. It was so great to talk with you.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.